Welcome to the EndZone. Let's move the chains and talk the 2021 NFL Draft. The first 5 picks have been solidified. So we're going to go into these picks. We're going to talk about some of the options these teams have, who they could pick, who I think they should pick. So let's get it going with the number 1 pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. It's a no-brainer. He's a generational type of talent, best quarterback, best player in the draft. With that number 1 pick, he is somebody who can totally turn around a franchise that might actually be brighter, have a brighter future than you think if they add Trevor Lawrence. So, number 2, the Jets. New York just had to win some games to miss out on Trevor Lawrence, but that's what they did, and they are at number 2. So they have some options here. They could go offensive lineman with Penei Sewell. Sewell is the type of player who I think has the highest floor out of any player in this draft. Also, offensive tackle, such an important position in the NFL. You got to protect your quarterback, whoever it may be for the Jets, or they could draft quarterback. That brings in Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. There are 3 different quarterbacks who are rounding out the top, the cream of the crop of the quarterbacks, if you will. I like Zach Wilson the best. That's my preference. I'd love to know your preference down below. Maybe if you're a Jets fan or just an NFL or college fan, if you watched all these quarterbacks, who would you draft in this situation at the quarterback position? I honestly think that the Jets will go quarterback here because if they have to extend Sam Darnold, that's going to cost a lot of money. You get a cheap, young quarterback that you can build around here, move on from Sam Darnold, and get things done in New York. At number 3, the Dolphins are going to have to help out their young quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, and get him in the position to where he can succeed. So I think that the Dolphins, if Penei Sewell is not taken, they will go ahead and take Sewell because he is just that good, and you can help your quarterback by building up that offensive line. Or you could go wide receiver here. I think if Penei Sewell is taken, the Dolphins could get Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, or Jalen Waddle. All 3 excellent receivers, but there's kind of a little cool story behind here. So Jamar Chase, he was the number 1 guy at LSU over Justin Jefferson, who might possibly win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Vikings. So what does that tell you about Jamar Chase? Well, he might be more talented or might have a higher ceiling than Jefferson. And you got Devonta Smith. This guy might win the Heisman from Alabama, but guess what? Smith was only put in this position because Jalen Waddle went down with an injury earlier in the season. We maybe could have seen Waddle win the Heisman or break out for a huge campaign. So what does that tell you about Waddle's ceiling? May be higher than Smith if Waddle was the wide receiver number 1 on that Alabama offense. So the Dolphins are going to have a lot of choices here if Penei Sewell is taken at wide receiver. They got to do a lot of studying on these receivers and see which one can separate themselves from the others. At number 4, we have the Falcons. So the Falcons have a lot of different positions that they need help on. Quarterback, running back, the secondary, defensive end. So quarterback, Wilson, Lance, Fields. Again, it's your preference. It's whoever gets drafted before here. But whichever quarterback they want to go and kind of learn from Matt Ryan could be the quarterback of the future for the Falcons. Running back, it's just too early to draft a running back here. You could go with the secondary, go with Patrick Surtain. His father is an NFL great. Surtain looks like he is the best player in the secondary in the draft. Or this is where I think that the Falcons are going to go at the defensive end position. Got to get pressure on the quarterback, especially when your division has Tom Brady and Drew Brees if Drew Brees decides to come back. But Gregory Rousseau or Kwity Paye, I think those are really your 2 best options. I would go with Rousseau. I watched him a lot at Miami, and I know he didn't play this year. I know that some people might not like that about him, but I think that he was so good and so strong at Miami that you got to go with Rousseau over Paye, who played this year. And finally, number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. So for some reason, Penei Sewell drops to the Bengals. You got to get Penei Sewell. I don't see it happening. Your next best option at offensive tackle, which I think they will draft, is Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. You could also go with the wide receiver position. As I mentioned above, if a wide receiver is taken at number 3, you still have two incredible choices. I mean, Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Waddle are neck and neck, and I'm curious to see them at the combine and see which of the wide receiving group really separates themselves from the rest, and how much people are going to maybe put cons on Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle, not really being able to play this season, one because of opt-out, one because of injury, and elevate Devonta Smith. Or are they not really going to pay attention to that? So I think the Bengals go with Rashawn Slater. If Penei Sewell doesn't fall to them, they got to go offensive tackle. You have to protect your new quarterback in Joe Burrow. So I'd love to know your opinions down below on the NFL Draft, the top 5 picks. Who are your top 5 picks? Thanks for watching the End Zone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can move the chains.